Welcome back to another JIVij podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
Hi, my name is Rafi.
And today we have a special guest.
I'm Kit.
Hey, Kit. What's up? Straight from
I don't
competition.
Have the... Yeah, you need one of those, bro.
I know you do need a
I know,
button.
right?
And then like a denied one too. Yeah, straight from my competition. It's been about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I did it on the 10th. It's the first of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for context, she's a bodybuilder, in case y'all didn't.
Yeah, I did my first show. It was like, it was such a good experience.
You look so good. You look so buff.
Ew.
I know, like, I'm like, my arms feel
I know,
so
right?
small next
She
to
has
Kit.
bigger arms than me. Well, she doesn't have bigger arms, but she has a little bit more
Toned
toned.
arms.
I don't know. I got big biceps.
Yeah, she probably does actually.
So do I. But
I always think it's funny when people are like, "Oh, you look so good," and in my head, like, not to be cocky, but it's always like, I should, because the amount of money, time, effort I put in, like,
you're working
you know,
hard.
that's the logic. Like, you put
Yo,
so much
your
in.
before and after is so nuts.
Yeah.
Like, that is
I did
amazing.
see that when you were a little chubby.
I'm gonna hard post it on this week, and like, I've been thinking about doing a transformation post for so long.
You know what's crazy is, for me, it feels like you've always looked like this.
I've had so many people say that.
So
to me.
I just, like, even seeing that picture, I was like, really? Like, I don't know. It was hard for me to see that because I didn't see that when I knew you. Even when I knew you back then, like, to me, you've always looked like this.
That's what a lot of people have said to me. They're like, "You've always just looked like this to me," and I think a lot of it is like the energy that you bring to people, and the confidence that
That's
you
true.
move with. Like,
I can see that.
a lot of time. Like, have you ever had the experience where you know somebody and it's like, once you get to know their personality, they become so much more beautiful in your eyes?
Yeah.
You know how they're those people? It's the energy that comes with it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, like, sometimes it really doesn't matter what you look like. It's like how you kind of
Present
Carry-
yourself.
present yourself. Yeah, carry yourself.
yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of people that on paper look really good, but then they're so insecure. Their energy's
Yes.
just not it. And I've seen a lot of people that maybe not on paper that, like, you know what I mean? But like they just kind of so
Yeah, you got to rock
Like,
it too.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, like your soul really shines through when you meet people in person.
exactly.
I don't have a soul. Just kidding.
I have too many.
That's some serial killer shit right there.
But yeah, I guess we'll just dive straight into the topic this week because Kit is in a rush to get the fuck out of here. I'm just kidding.
Hey,
She busy. She busy.
yeah, she busy.
I know. Like she's
Stop.
just like, can I pencil you in at this very?
Hey, it's rough being a superstar out
Exactly.
Guys, I went to bed at 5 a.m. Leave me alone.
Yeah, we're just kidding. We're just giving you shit. But anyways, let's just dive into it. Psychedelics, because I've mentioned it a couple times in the podcast, but I've
This
never
is a deep dive.
Yeah, this is a deep dive, so I've never really talked about it much. But anyways, tell us your experience.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, it's like I've shroomed with you guys before, but during that time, I don't think I was in a different place in my life and I didn't take as much. And then
I do remember that because we used to take shrooms at the park and just like
Yeah.
lay
Chill
down
out,
there. Yeah.
That's not like a full.
trip.
Yeah.
So I turned 30 this year and I was like, I really want to do a lot of mushrooms. So I did. But what happened was my birthday was on the Sunday or on a Monday and I took that off, but then I had to work the next day and my boyfriend was like, okay, if we do the mushrooms, we're not going to be able to do anything after. So we're going to leave it for the evening time. So
Responsible man, right?
yeah,
That's true.
and we're also bodybuilders, so like I have to get all my meals in. And if I
Yeah.
take mushrooms, I'm not gonna eat. So I wait until it's like,
Wait, so your birthday this year?
yeah, this year is when I like really, really had a big trip.
Oh, so when we had that dinner at Cheesecake Factory, when you said like, oh, I took mushrooms, and that was basically just
That was
That
right
week.
around that time. Okay.
okay.
Oh, I remember I did tell you guys this thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't take the mushrooms until like later on in the night.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I thought this, but somebody told me that weed negates the effects of mushrooms. So I wasn't smoking. Dumb. So I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it for like hours, and it's like 11 p.m. I gotta work the next day. I haven't tripped yet. I'm starting to get irritated, and I'm starting to like fall asleep. And I'm like, yo, this is not it.
Do you have a slow metabolism?
During that time, I think it was I don't know. I don't know what.
Wait, so what time did you take it?
I took it at like 7 or 8 p.m.
And then it didn't hit?
Yeah, and it was like 11 o'clock, and I'm just like,
Still
nothing's
waiting.
happening. And then I smoked, and then the walls started to melt. I was like in full meltdown mode, like having a little tantrum, just being a girl, and me like, it never hit me. You didn't tell me what to do. Nothing's happening. I was so upset. And then as I'm like in the middle of my meltdown, the walls also started to melt down.
Yeah, like it started moving. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is cool. But then I have to go to work the next day. So I get ready for bed, and I'm laying down in bed, and Nick's like, do you want me to stay up with you? I'm like, no, just go to sleep. So for like 5 hours on a Monday night in the dark,
There's
I am
just dubstep playing in your head.
I'm tripping in the dark by myself. He's trying to stay up with me, but I'm like, just go to sleep. And I don't want to play music because
Yeah.
I don't want to be loud. I don't want to look at my phone because I don't want it to influence me. I don't want to see the time move.
I'm curious though, because like kind of sitting in silence is kind of a good thing. So keep going.
It was the most amazing experience. Like, I was just in silence, in the dark for 5 hours. And Nick even asked me, what did you listen to? Like, what did you do? I'm like, the earth. I listened to the earth.
That's the most like psychedelic answer right there though. That's what's up.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, what sounds? I'm like the air, and
I could hear his stomach rumbling while I was sleeping.
I was like trying to explain it to him. I'm like, it's because you're not spiritual. You're not hearing the earth move.
It's like you're not woken up.
Oh my! But like,
Wait, so did he take it too?
no. He's just like, I'm just gonna let you trip on all this. Like, you take it. Like,
okay.
We've done it before, but like this was a lot of mushrooms for
Would
me.
you say that was your first breakthrough?
Yes.
Wait, so how much was a lot?
You know what? He measured it out on the food scale.
Oh, he did.
In
Yeah.
terms of like stems and caps, like how many would you say?
It was like a whole handful.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
Wait, so he
That's a
said
lot.
he measured it, like what was, yeah?
I don't remember.
Yeah. But it was just a
It
lot.
was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I trust the homie because
Yeah.
he's a bodybuilder. He measures everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I trust him.
So like, and he's raved for like 10 years. So he's like, he's like, I know how much to
Why are
give
you
you.
exposing my man's?
Listen, he's not as innocent as people think.
Oh, I know, but you ain't gotta. Keep going.
So like, first I just started thinking of all the things. Like, I started thinking of all the people that I'm just so grateful. And I'm like, I just felt so like, it's like a warm love just like filled my body.
That's awesome.
And this was the first time you've experienced this?
Yes.
Because you've taken shrooms before.
Yes, but before, like, I was on meds before.
That's true.
And I was getting off them. And I, like, that time in my
I
life.
think that has actually been so good for you, like being off the medication. I didn't really think you need it, but I think you also needed time to adjust and see what it was like without it, and that takes time. That takes time.
And so all the times I tried mushrooms before was either when I was on meds or when I was getting off of them, and like my body that at that time was just like trying to figure out how to be normal, how to
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah, so it was like inhibiting the experience, basically.
Yes. And honestly, like pharmaceutical medicine versus like weed and mushrooms, there's a big difference.
Huge difference.
And it's been a lifestyle change almost.
Natural versus synthetic. That's really what it is. You know what I mean? So,
That's true.
hey, Instagram short right there. I was gonna say natural
Segue
versus
into our next.
synthetic. I'm helping you out, fam.
So after that night, like, was that kind of like because for me, when I had my like first like trip experience, like it kind of changed the way I perceive a lot of things.
Yes. Like, I know we've talked about this before, but I almost feel like it opened my heart to higher levels of
Yeah.
spirituality and
Yeah.
just being oneness as a human.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, and I texted you because in the past 6 times that we've shroomed, like JERiCK will cry.
Yeah.
You know, JERiCK will cry.
Yeah, you made fun of me for crying.
Well, because it was like we're in the middle of the forest and during the daytime, and it's all of us, and you're just like, it's your birthday, and you're in the hammock crying, and we're like, what do we do? And you're like, I'm great.
Yeah.
For the record, I wasn't making fun of you when you cried. I was enjoying it with you, but I can't help but not laugh because I'm your friend.
I honestly feel the same way too when I see people like cry when they have that experience. It's funny because like I've been there before, and it's such a great experience to just release a lot of crap in your body.
Yeah.
Yes, and just be a real human.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, it's funny because it takes that for us to go into who we really are.
Yeah. And that's why I'm very like pro psychedelics. Obviously, like I don't want to like force it on anybody, but I highly recommend it.
You know what it is? I feel like the mushroom helps you just be.
Yeah.
And sometimes in today's world, it is so hard to just be because everything is pulling you in every direction that you can think of. So having something that kind of
Grounds you almost
yeah,
to
yeah.
earth.
And I was watching, I think his name is Paul Stamets. He's a
Yeah.
mycologist. He's been on Joe Rogan a bunch of times.
Is that the guy with that wears like the mushroom?
Yes, that's like flammable.
hat? Yeah,
and
I
shit.
think I've seen it.
No, he's so cool. But he was talking about how mushrooms or fungus, it like engineers the environment. Like it determines what kind of plants grow, how the trees are gonna look. They're like literally the bioengineers of like a, just think about like a meadow. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
literally set up.
Can we talk about that more then? Because like, if a mushroom can bioengineer its physical environment, like within us, isn't that the idea of manifestation, that you can bioengineer your physical reality through your mind?
Very well could
Yep.
So it's like when you take the mushrooms, don't you lean in to that thinking? And that's why, like, when you're tripping, it's almost as if like you're starting to understand your life in a better context.
Do you guys feel like so I always feel like whenever I'm in a trip, like a serious dose, I feel like we are able to tap into like a collective subconscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You guys
agree.
feel that too? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not just me.
And that's the thing is like, I remember having like being in that zone a couple times, right?
Yeah.
And then it always feels so different
Yeah.
because like, you know, I'm taking, you know, like microdose here and there, and then like it doesn't really get you there. It's just kind of like, oh, this feels good, this feels
Yeah,
nice.
but when you full send,
But then when you full send, it like gives you like, oh, I'm here again.
Yeah,
Like,
like you feel elevated. You feel
Yeah.
like you're in the collective. Like I remember one time I tripped and I'm like, oh, let's go outside and go take a walk. And I'm like, oh, the tree is hugging me. The wind is
Literally,
telling me
though.
it's okay.
yeah, you can feel everything.
yeah,
That's
it,
the-
Yeah.
it feels so different.
Yeah.
And it sounds so crazy to somebody who hasn't experienced it, but
Yeah.
like if you think about it in more of a like scientific manner, it's energy. You're
no,
tapping into
literally,
an energy, and energy does exist.
This is why whenever other people or friends ask me about mushrooms, I always try to tell them to do it in a natural setting. Don't take mushrooms and go party. Don't take
No.
mushrooms and go
It's
to
not
a
a party
festival.
drug. Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't, but if you want a real experience, if you really want to grow, do it while you're camping.
Yeah.
Do it at the beach. Do it while you're
You
hiking.
want to hike? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like in your first time.
That's
you know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying.
Because like
That's
you
what I'm
don't
saying.
know what to expect.
Exactly.
So like you don't want to do it in a setting that it's chaotic and there's just like so many energy because
Yeah.
you get super sensitive.
Well, it's almost like, you know, the world that we live in today, it's so overwhelming, it's overstimulating,
Yeah.
it's full of distractions. So I feel like when you take psychedelics, it gives you a chance to be in control of your thoughts and really be able to steer them. Like I remember when I was tripping one time, I started thinking about all the conspiracies that I saw on TikTok, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the Earth is on fire! Like people are warring right now. Like there's an ice wall, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then I remember stopping myself and being like, bitch, it's your birthday, and you're so high right now. Like just be in the moment and just like relax. Stop giving yourself anxiety, and to be able to have that much mental control. Yeah. Like that's what we're supposed to be, but yet we're in this environment where it's like technology is always changing. Like, what's the next step? Like, let's go. And it's so you forget who you are and what our purpose is here and what our souls are meant to do.
Yeah, because I've had a similar experience too. Because I've done like acid as well, and then I remember. Because when I took it, like I had an intention of like I need to level up, right? Like what's the next level? Like, you know, like because like once you like experience it for the first time, you like see so much. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like this is so much new stuff that like I need to learn. And then when I was taking acid, I was just like, all right, what's next? Like how can I hack my my mental like
how can you hack your brain?
Yeah, I was looking for a hack to like be better. And then all I heard in my head was like, what are you looking for? Like, you're already doing it. Like, there's nothing more. Like
it's within you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't keep looking for a hack or a cheat code of like life cheat code. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was looking for. I was like, man, I need to manifest all this stuff. Like, I was just looking for a hack. And then I just keep hitting a wall. We'd be like, no, sit your ass down and just live.
That's
like,
the beautiful
yourself.
thing about
Exactly.
the psychedelic experience is it's brutally honest.
Yeah.
But in the best way.
I
Do you know
love
what
that.
I mean?
I love
It
that.
is. It's the reason why people have bad trips.
It's 'cause
I
they're
think,
not ready
in my
here.
perspective, I mean, I could be wrong, but like they're not ready to face who they are. It's a
Yes.
mirror.
I was about to say that, like, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, unless you
You
are.
have to be ready to be brutally honest with yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's a psychedelic. So your boundaries are the boundaries of your mind.
Yeah.
So if you are not good, if you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, or you just don't have a strong sense of self, it could be a bad trip.
Yeah.
Because like I said, for 5 hours, I was in the dark playing within the recesses of my mind. Like that was my playground.
Exploring every area. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what psychedelics really unlock is they unlock the parts of your brain that, you know, in your day-to-day life you're not addressing, you're not thinking about, because again, we're so distracted. So then you take the psychedelics and it's like, what is going on in here? Who am I?
It's like when you take psychedelics, it snaps you out of the programming, and then after that, it's like a psychological mirror.
It is.
You're forced to kind of sit with your thoughts and face them. And I don't want to say problem, but the issue is, for some people, they're not comfortable with what their brain is thinking.
Yes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
let their thoughts control them.
yeah, but you know, some people, I think, just are distracting themselves too much to the point where they're not comfortable with their own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if for you to have this breakthrough, you're gonna have to be ready to like face what your thoughts are. You know?
Yeah, because I remember my first like experience. It was such a mind opening. Like I was crying a lot. Like Raph was there. He was there with me. We went to.
I remember that you telling me that.
Yeah, we went to Chimney Beach. It was like I think it was on a Sunday. We were the only.
I think it was
there.
the middle of the week because there was nobody there.
Yeah, like we were the only ones there, and then I remember taking it, and I was just like waiting, right? And I was just like, when is this gonna hit? Because
we got to Chimney Beach at like 7 a.m.
Yeah, because in my mind I mean, like I've smoked before, and then I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, maybe I'll feel high, and then maybe I'll see some like cool shit.
Yeah.
I never saw any of that. Like I never saw it like visually. Like it wasn't like visually stimulating, I guess. But what I saw was like when it started to really hit, that's when everybody started coming in. Like they had their boats, and then everybody was chilling at the beach, having a good time. It looks like having a good time, but honestly, I felt everybody's energy, and then it just felt like everybody was like trapped in like the matrix, and,
Yes.
like the system.
You know what it is when it hit him, I think it hit him at the perfect time because he was detaching at the same time seeing how attached people were to their
Yeah.
parents and like
Because like I remember seeing people on the boats drinking, right?
And families
like
arguing.
that looks fun.
But is it?
But then when I was looking at them, I was like, nobody's having fun here.
Yes, it's so weird.
Yeah, there was like 200 people, probably like 200 people on the beach, and like
parents are yelling at their kids, bring this down.
Like I just felt like nobody was having fun.
Real fun.
besides
Yeah,
us.
yeah, and then like I was staring at Raph, and then like because I remember like he was trying to like tell me all these like conspiracy stuff before, right? And then like I never really, I just kind of brushed
like,
it
now's
up.
the time.
Like I just brushed it up. I never thought he was crazy or anything, but I just brushed it off. But then I was just like, I get it now. Like it finally like hit me, like the Matrix glass finally like broke.
Yeah.
And then all that, like I was like, oh man, all this shit is so fucked up.
I feel like it's so hard to talk about psychedelics without delving into like conspiracies and spirituality because
Yeah.
here's my theory is that
It unlocks so much in your mind, so that's why, you know.
yes,
like-
well I have this theory that like our spirituality is rooted in our connection to nature.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you know, mushrooms bring us back to that. They are something of nature. They are natural. It is something that brings us back to our roots. And my theory on the conspiracy theory in this world is that whoever is trying to be in power, they try to get power over us through distractions.
Yep.
You know, when we're not paying attention to, okay, like let's take your beach thing for example. Okay, I think going to the beach is fun. They told me that drinking alcohol, buying this paddleboard, spending money to come up here, they told me this was going to be fun.
Yep.
You know, and that's what they sell you. But if you really evaluate, am I having fun? Is my soul being genuine? Am I making good relationships with people? Am I in the moment? Am I present? Or am I worried about taking pictures right now? It's all those things that are distracting us from our spirituality, which is our connection to nature, our connection to each other, and it's all distracting.
Yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. And the funny thing, when you mentioned paddleboard,
Homegirl's cooking. bro.
yeah, I remember that moment too. So like, there was so many people there, right? And then a girl with a
got you. I
paddleboard,
got you.
she passed by us, and then I looked at Raph and like, dude, she gets it. Like out of everybody there,
Her vibe was like ours.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
like,
she was.
We didn't even know who she was,
Yeah.
but like her
Like-
vibe, her frequency was the same as where we
yeah,
were.
I was like looking at her. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But she was like smiling with her paddleboard.
Because she's connecting.
Yeah, like
Exactly,
She was like,
exactly.
I was like, dude, she gets it.
She's there
Like,
for the right reasons, the same reasons we were there for.
Yeah, like to connect to nature. Like think about it. You know, we live about an hour away from Lake Tahoe, which is so lucky for us.
Yeah.
But what do people do when they go up there? They are
Drinking.
and they're like numbing their experience to just be touched by the sun,
Yeah.
to feel the crisp, cold water, to feel the trees breathing life into them. You know, they are so disconnected from that because they are numbing their senses with what? Alcohol. And then society tells us that mushrooms, weed, psychedelics, all these things that are natural are bad for us. Like, where is the sense in that? Like, okay, alcohol is good, but it because it makes people money, because it makes people
Yep.
money. So like, it's so funny what is sold.
It's
upon
literally
us.
like you see how the world is flipped when you
Yes.
snap out of the program.
Yeah, and then the thing is too, with like when they talk about psychedelics, right? They put this under one umbrella,
like a
drugs.
bad connotation.
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
So it's like all the bad drugs out there. They just kind of put it in one umbrella, and then psychedelics
not
just
that,
get like
no.
You know-
inserted in there. So now everybody's like, I don't want to take any of that. It makes you look crazy, or it makes you crazy or whatever. Like, because that's what, honestly, growing up too, that's what I thought. I thought like, oh, when you take acid, you're gonna lose your mind. You become a hippie.
Well, everything
Yeah.
that they sell you is like so wrong. Like, for example, I'm very much into fitness. I'm very much about living a healthy life.
Yeah.
You know what the worst thing is for you? It's not the acid. It's not the ecstasy. It's not the mushrooms. It's not the weed.
Sugar.
Well, okay, sugar, yes, but alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Not-
Alcohol is so anti-fitness.
Yes.
And it's like there's no good benefits that come from alcohol. It impedes your not even physically.
Yes.
Your cognitive ability. And it's like weed doesn't do that. Mushrooms don't do that. Like there's effects. Everybody else is different for sure, but alcohol is like the worst thing for you, and it's the thing that's most accepted in our society because it's what? The biggest distraction that makes people the most money.
Exactly. Bars.
I
I'm
see.
such a conspiracy theorist. It's not even conspiracy though. It's true.
It's not. It's
true.
not.
It's facts.
I seen this post that was talking about, and don't believe everything you see on the internet, but here goes. But it was talking about the origins of the word alcohol, and apparently it's like Arabic, and it's
spirits.
alcohol. Yeah, and it's named after a demon in their mythology that sucks
All
out.
cool?
Alcohol, yeah, and it's named after a demon in their mythology that like saps you out of.
Take you out of your spirit.
Yeah, it literally.
That's why they call it spirit,
It's
right?
a demon eating spirit and its name was Al-Cool, and that's
oh,
like
shit.
yeah.
It's to
But
take
there's
you away
probably
from your
some
highest good.
there's some form of truth in that because alcohol brings out the worst in people, and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of truth in there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I saw a video and it said alcohol brings you away from your highest spirit.
It's literally the number one thing that you can do to lower your frequency and
Yes.
your vibration.
Yes.
It's the number one substance that brings you down.
Interesting.
And by number one, I mean it's the easiest, at most accessible substance that you can ingest that brings your vibration.
Yeah, and because it's so accepted too, right? Like, when you say, smoking weed, yes, it's legal in a lot of states, but it's still very
Taboo.
kind of like taboo. And then they kind of give it like, if you smoke weed, then you're just like lazy and like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I feel it's just the marketing of it. It's
Yeah.
like they're like what can you
Moderation
make
is
the-
key, and that's with
Yeah.
anything. That's with anything.
But look at all the advertisements and all the marketing. They don't tell you to drink alcohol in moderation.
no.
It's like they sell it as fun. Like this is what's fun. Go to the beach. It's summer. Have some drinks.
Yeah,
Right,
they say
right.
drink responsibly, but what is responsible?
all the Corona commercials are like, so peaceful, relaxing on the beach. And then remember those weed commercials where they're just like melted on the couch? Like, you guys remember those commercials? Yeah. So there's that. And then I remember in high school when other kids were talking about mushrooms, like the thing was like, oh, it makes your brain bleed. Like
Yeah.
that's not even true, dude.
And
but like
honestly, that's
I went
what
through
I thought too.
I went through my entire high school experience thinking that shit was true.
Yeah,
bro.
because that shit scared me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point.
Thinking about acid and because the programming was it's gonna melt your brain, you're gonna go crazy.
Well,
and
again, think about it. Like, why would they want you
Yeah.
to think that about mushrooms? Because again, it brings you to your highest good. Yeah. Like alcohol brings you to your lowest good. Mushrooms bring you to your highest good. And if you're at your highest good, they can't control you.
Yep.
They can't make money off of you.
because I talked about it in the last podcast, psychedelics, especially mushrooms for me, it made me question everything. And as a world that is built in systems, they don't want people questioning shit.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they kind of put it in a category of this is illegal, this is really bad for you, because people don't want people to be fucking questioning things, they just want to distract everybody with whatever.
And we keep mentioning the Matrix, but it's because there's so much symbolism in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking psychedelics is a lot like the red pill experience, right?
Yes,
Once
I
Neo
agree.
took the red pill, his world began to really open up, and it's kind of like the same idea. I'm not saying that you're gonna see that exact same shit when you do psychedelics, but it's just it really snaps you out of the boa constricted frame of thinking. You're able to think for yourself so much freer and so much clearer when you
Yes.
really experience that breakthrough. You know what I mean? So
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
But I just want to say though, taking psychedelics is only the beginning.
Yes.
Like,
Like
you
you have to do the work.
Exactly.
Like it opens the door for you to start looking at yourself and being like, what do I look like in this mirror?
Because I always give it credit to my, like, all the changes that I've made in my life, right?
Like you're awakening.
Exactly. It was like I give it credit, but then I also done a lot of work,
Yeah.
like being sober. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not just like, oh, I need to take psychedelics and it's gonna solve everything.
Let's go around and talk about your breakthrough and, like, I guess the things that have helped you with the most,
Yeah.
and everything of that nature. Go.
Oh, do you want me to start?
You were kind of already there.
Oh, well, so I guess my breakthrough was, I think it made me realize that I need to look inward to myself instead of kind of always asking for validation from outside of me.
Oh, I love that.
Validation,
I love that you
love,
mentioned that. Yeah.
because growing up, I was always like, kind of like, I guess begging for validation and love in a way. So like when I took psychedelics, it made me, it showed me that it's all in me. Like you've basically like, you're the universe, right? So everything's internal. Like,
Hey, snaps for honesty though,
Yeah.
JERiCK. Let's go.
and honestly, it's only like, it only showed me that, but I still needed to like really work on that.
Yeah, and lean into
Like
it.
it's not like take this mushroom and then you're healed. Like
Right,
you're
right,
not.
right.
Like you
It
have
doesn't
to,
work that way.
yeah.
I love that you said that because like it goes back to what we were saying is that the mushrooms are just like
It's a
the
tool.
door opening.
Yeah.
Like it's the mirror that shows you this is what you look like, and then afterwards it's like that part stays with you. Like you get to like that's another thing that's great about mushrooms. You get to remember
Exactly.
what you experienced.
Yeah.
So then you leave that experience saying, okay, I did all these things in my mind. What does that mean now in my normal life when I'm not on mushrooms? How do I use that energy and bring it into my real life? Like, who do I want to be now?
Yeah.
And how do I get there? And am I even close to who that person is now?
Because there's a lot of people that have taken psychedelics, but they haven't integrated what they learned from it.
Just to kind of circle back to the point you were making, the world that we live in distracts us in a way to where it almost forces you to look externally.
Yeah.
Everything is a distraction to, even, like, I hate to say this and I know it's going to sound controversial, but religion. So many of the world's religions, I'm not saying all, but so many of the world's religions is trying to get you to look up or externally when
It's inward.
it's really all in there.
Yeah.
But you've never been shown to think like that. You've always seen the other side.
Exactly.
So
That's what they really mean when they say, God is within you. It's because that thing that you're looking for is just the highest version of
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
It's within you. That voice that tells you this is good, that is you, your highest good. It's not external, it's internal.
yeah, and the world wants you to look externally and look at advertisements and look at
Yep.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
And that highest person is part of the highest collective.
Exactly.
Like you're not just tapping into your highest self, you're tapping into your highest self that's connected to everybody else's
we need like a, maybe there is already a word for it, but we need like a term or a word for this collective subconscious, because it's definitely there. I just, because it's weird. I've spoken to so
Isn't
many.
that the word for it though?
Yeah,
Collective?
isn't it Christ consciousness?
I just need. I'm talking about like one syllable. You know what I'm saying?
Make it easy.
Hey, they
Help-
make up
help
words
your
all
boy
the time.
out.
Make one up.
Help your boy out. You know what I'm saying?
But before we get too
I know,
distracted, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Your,
Well, that was actually like my point is like, well, actually, I've just been trying to make this point. I don't know if this was answering the question because I actually forgot what the question was.
what's your I guess what you've learned and how are you integrating psychedelics in
I
your
think-
lifestyle now?
And I think this just relates to everything that we've been talking about already.
Yeah.
It's the distractions, that really solidified for me to be in the moment, to work past all of the chaos within myself, within the world, within whatever is going on, to work past the chaos, to work past the distractions, because they're always going to be there. I can't control all the distractions that are coming, but I can control who I am and how I want to power through that. Like, for example, and this it was intentional like the first time, but it's always just happened. Whenever I'm shrooming, I don't have my phone. I do not look at my phone because I don't want to be distracted.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, first of all, I also don't want to accidentally send somebody a message that I think I'm gonna might regret later. Like, I'm in this,
I think I got a couple of those messages.
Actually, my 30th birthday, when I was streaming in the dark by myself, there was only one text message I sent because I was so determined not to be on my phone, and it was to Sierra and Michelle because they both had turned 30 that year, like within a month before me. And I typed out the message so many times because I didn't want to say the wrong thing, and all I said was, I think about you guys all the time because fuck, this is 30. I love you guys. That's all I said. That's all I said to them because I'm like, I gotta keep this short and sweet. But it's like, even in that, we are so distracted and like caught up. I'm like, what are we gonna say? What are we gonna say? How do I connect to this person? I don't know how to connect to this person. Yeah. And it's like, all you have to do is say something simple and honest and authentic, and it doesn't have to mean anything, and they will feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is my biggest lesson, is that even in the words that I speak, how can I limit the distractions? How do I tell people exactly what I want to tell them so that you can feel my spirit?
Yeah, just be very intentional on how you live life, right?
It's a caption right there.
Like everything that you do should be intentional and not like half-ass, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
so funny that it takes a psychedelic to go on this entire spiritual journey on being authentic.
Yeah, that's true. Raph?
Sorry, I just gotta mention the texts that I've gotten from Kit are like
all this conspiracy shit.
Yeah, literally, dude. Like, she started sending me stuff about Antarctica. I'm like, girl, I've been trying to tell you this. Like,
the funny thing is that's always kind of like
it's just funny.
The level one of
when you're like
awakening,
right.
Awakening, right? Yeah. Like everything was just like everything's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
it's just a.
And
I just think
it's funny because everything starts to feel more like a conspiracy.
Yeah,
you feel more crazy. Yeah. You're like, am I still on the drugs? You know?
Yeah. Honestly, dude, when I went through the toughest time of my life, the thing that I did for myself is I started doing mushrooms, and then I would go on these like solo hikes.
Give us a context on when this was.
This was right after, like the couple years after my mom passed, and I broke off from my last relationship were really tough.
So this was like what, 10 years ago?
2017 through like 2019.
10 years ago.
Oh, don't make me. Yeah, but like I would say from like 2016 to like 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was really me switching over and turning into the person that you guys know today. Mm-hmm. Because before that, like, dude, my temper was, I was mad about everything. I was easily triggered by everything, you know, and it's maybe because I didn't have time to process all the shit that I was going through, but I knew I felt like I needed to do something. And, you know, I was reading about psychedelics a lot, and I was like, fuck it, I have nothing to lose, might as well try it, right?
So did you have friends that told you about it, or was it just you were just seeking it for yourself?
I did have friends that were telling me about it, but they were like the party type friends.
Okay.
But I was looking for something real, like a real breakthrough, and that's what I was reading about and watching videos about, and that was the experience that I was looking for. I wasn't looking to do mushrooms and then go to a music.
Party.
Yeah. I was really looking to do some inner work. Like, fuck, I gotta do something. I feel miserable. I feel terrible.
I want to go do mushrooms today.
We should have done mushrooms right now. Next time. We'll do that next time. We'll take shrooms and then podcasts.
I'm going to out my coworkers. I'm not going to say their name. But, like, my coworkers be giving me mushrooms, too. And I'm like...
Hey, hook it up.
But, so I felt like I really needed to do something. So I did. I decided, you know what? I'm going to take some mushrooms and go on this hike that I've never been to, because it might be a cool challenge, and let's see what happens. And the more I did that, the more I grew into this, you know, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but a lot of people like to say and compliment me that say I always seem so cool, calm, and collected. And I'm like, I wasn't always like this. You know what I mean? Like, there was a version of Raph that was, upset and irritated and easily triggered and did not have a temper whatsoever. But the moment that I started addressing those issues and realizing, hey, this is what I got to work on, you know, like, why am I feeling like this? All this stuff that I just addressed in my own psyche, slowly it just started to, I started to peel off those layers and it started to change me for the better.
Yeah.
You know,
Raph, I feel like you should say that with more confidence, saying like I am a cool and calm, collected person because you did the work to get there.
That
Like,
is true. Talk your shit, bro.
yeah, like we're talking about authenticity and how mushrooms have brought us to our highest
Yeah.
good. If you already know that you've done the work to be that person who's cool, calm, and collected, own that.
no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm just always in my head too, because I'm always like, never be too comfortable because there's always room to grow. But
I mean,
maybe
there is,
to a fault, you know what I mean? A little too much.
Yeah, because I think like we growing up, we're always being taught be humble, right?
That Filipino Catholic shame, bro.
Oh, for real?
It's like always be humble. But like, bruh, like
Saying who
the-
you are is not being humble.
Yeah,
though.
the thing is, it's like that idea. Like I get it, but then it's kind of. I feel like it's coming from an insecure perspective,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because like they want you to be humble because they don't want you to be better than them.
Yeah.
Can we all agree to stop taking advice from people who are insecure?
Yes, exactly.
Like, let's really think about that right now. Like, we've been listening to all these people who want to shame us, and it's
Exactly.
like, for what? You're insecure as fuck. Get
Yeah.
the fuck away from me. Like,
That's why when you said earlier when they talked about your looks, right? Like talk your shit. Every time you like accomplish something, like you should be able to be freely like share it and be just open about it. And it's not that you're putting yourself above everybody else, right? Like you're just doing your thing. Like
you just got to move with authenticity. Like, if I were to be posting because I want to just show off and be like, see, look what I did.
Yeah.
because that is cocky. That is arrogant.
Yeah.
But if you're moving with true authenticity and you're saying, I'm doing this because this is just who I am.
yeah.
No.
This is just this world. This is who I am.
Exactly.
That lands so much differently with other people. And again, I think that's another benefit of taking psychedelics is you step into your most authentic self.
That's true.
Because it's like,
true.
you know, it's almost as if like all the anxiety that you feel about how other people perceive you, you go through all of those things within your mind during your trip. Like, it's like you face all of the anxiety
No, literally.
that you take from society. So then you come out of it and you're like, I don't give a fuck about what anybody says about me because that was the meanest shit I've ever experienced. The meanest words and feelings and thoughts that I've ever had. I said them to myself in my trip, and now it doesn't have power over me.
This is I just want to share this because maybe this will help somebody that's listening, but this is the one of the thoughts that just freed my brain and freed my spirit from, I guess, what felt like shackles back then, right?
The cage.
Yeah, like once I started doing these like solo hikes and doing these mushroom trips, I basically came to the realization that my biggest fears in life have already come through. Like they've already happened.
Literally.
They've already come true. So like I'm not scared of anything, bro. Like
Yeah.
I've gone to a point where I'm like, nothing scares me anymore. Like if I have to die today, then I guess I'm dying today. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and I know that sounds crass, but like, and it might sound harsh to some people, but there's beauty in learning to accept that and learning to accept the situation and just your journey. You know what I mean? Like this is where I'm at.
Yeah, because
Because you like realize that you can't control all those things. You can only control yourself.
I was raised by a single mother. So as her only son, I was like, my safety net for the longest time was, damn, I have like the best mom in the world. And so when that went away, it's like, now what?
yeah,
But
like
it's
the
like,
worst thing already happened. So
but it's like, it's the most brutal, harshest, but also at the same time the most beautiful thing that's ever happened, because it freed me the most, it hurt me the most, and like that doesn't even sound like it should make sense, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it makes
Talking about the mushroom trip is like,
no, just
Just the
all of
experience.
it,
Yeah.
all of it. You know what I mean? Like you know, you would think when you hear about somebody's parents passing, like it's sad and depressing. Like it is, but also there's a part in it that's also very beautiful and freeing. You know what I mean? And I think the psychedelics kind of help you accept that, and it helps you re-navigate and refocus. You know what I mean? So I hope that me sharing that and saying that helps somebody out there that's watching.
Yeah, because I remember having the first time experience on shrooms. That was the first time that I actually felt like I wasn't scared to die. At that very moment, I was like, if I'm gonna die right now, like, fuck it.
Isn't that a weird? It's weird, but it's also like so freeing.
Yeah, because like it
it's
felt.
surrender.
Yes,
Yeah.
the surrender.
The
Yeah.
surrender.
I like it's almost as if like saying to yourself, I am taking these psychedelics and I am surrendering myself
Yeah.
to
The moment.
yes.
Yeah.
To the earth, to my spirituality. I am surrendering
To the
so then I
universe,
can receive.
And then that was the only time too that I've experienced that. We always say that time doesn't exist, right? Mm-hmm. Like, but at that very moment,
It really
I
did
really
not.
didn't. I couldn't comprehend time at all. Like, I couldn't think ahead, like few hours ahead or any like in the past either. I just like, this is it. Like, this is only it. Because I remember I got a text from my mom that day. I remember because like I was still tripping.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
remember we were walking back to your
we
car.
were walking back to my car, and then I got a text. She was like, "Hey, you want to come over for dinner?" And then I was like reading it. I was like, "Dinner? Like I don't understand.
The time.
I don't understand the time." Like she was like, "Oh, 6 o'clock dinner." I'm like, I don't get it. Like I just couldn't understand it.
I think
It was weird. But after that, like,
Yeah.
kind of
As one of your friends, that is one of my favorite memories with you, bro. Was seeing you trip for the
Yeah.
first time.
it was a really good experience, honestly.
And also because not humble brag, but like I really wanted to be the first person to show JERiCK what a real trip should be like.
Yeah.
I feel
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, of course.
I always give you credit.
he does. He always says
No,
laughs the
I know.
first one.
I'd like to give him shit because he's, you know, we're friends like that. But
I feel like, you know, going back into what you said about how time moves differently when you're taking psychedelics, I feel like, you know, that's related to us being in our spirituality, us being in our collective consciousness, is that we surrender ourselves to the flow of how the universe works. Because constantly, how often do you find yourself trying to control a situation or trying to manipulate?
All the time.
Right?
Yeah, and
you're
then-
manipulating your schedule,
Yeah.
you're manipulating other people's schedule, you're trying to like
Yeah.
make everything work, but it's just like,
and you realize there's no point because something's gonna happen.
and you're just one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're one piece trying to control things in this entire world that we live in. And that's not the way we're supposed to work. We're supposed to flow in harmony with each other, with the moment, with the universe. And then, so when you take the psychedelics and you surrender and you step into that flow, everything starts to make sense. It's like your body knows, your mind knows, this is how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to be grinding in this 9 to 5, like, you know, we're not supposed to be fighting in traffic with people like,
We're not even supposed to be living in cities.
Yeah, because I remember the first time too. Going back again to the first time, is because in my head, I really wanted to drop everything. I was like, quit my job.
nothing else matters.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna go live out in the woods and become a hippie.
You really are.
I honestly, like,
Honestly, that sounds so nice.
I honestly thought it was just like, fuck all the money, like fuck all my bills. I'm just like, fuck it. That's and then like obviously you come down
And
to
reality
it, just
sets
like
in, yeah,
reality, you know, hits you back in. But still, like part of that, I'm still kind of integrating, right? Like I'm figuring out how to like balance everything.
Like, it's like, I always like to think of this place as like Earth School or like the game.
Earth School, I like that.
You know, it's Earth School. Like, what's my soul supposed to learn at this Earth School? Like, what's the game here? And it's just like, I feel like there are these little tools, like, you know how when like you're in Mario and he like eats up the mushroom? That's how I feel. I ate up the mushroom and I leveled up, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what
I'm sure that was inspired from something, you know?
But like,
you know, it's like the red mushrooms. Yeah.
but like really, you know, your soul was dropped here in this earth school, and it's like, oh, sometimes it's so hard. It's so hard. Like we can sit here and be like, don't be distracted, but I get distracted too, even still.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so hard. So it's like the universe is giving you like these little nuggets to be like, here's a little bit help. Remember who you are.
Yeah.
Step into your flow. Connect to each other. Remember that we're here to love and grow and learn together. Together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. So this is the second time. Because I just have like experiences like a few times on mushrooms that is like very just ingrained in my head.
Memorable, like
So,
core
yeah.
memory.
Yeah, exactly. The second time, I remember because you know the first time you're like, oh shit, like this is so cool. Like what is this?
Like you're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out everything. The second time, I was like, show me more. Like I just wanted to see everything. And then I remember I had this vision in my head because we were Sand Harbor, I think. We were at the beach. It was me and Raph again. I saw this vision in my head of the earth in a circle like this. And then there was like white around it.
The wall.
Yeah. And then
It's the wall.
like what I was like it was like a bird's eye view. So I was kind of like looking at it from far away. So like white around the earth and then black around it. Like
Is it flat too?
it was more of a dome. I saw more of a dome.
Okay, listen to what he's
Yeah.
saying. Listen to what
Yeah.
he's saying.
Okay, so that makes me think like, I wonder, like, did you see?
Mind you, this is before I ever mentioned anything to him about Antarctica, about
that's
anything.
what I'm
Yeah, like I did.
Did you really have
About a
vision, or was
dome.
it like influence, like in your
No,
subconscious?
because like, I never.
I'm telling
Like
you,
this is before I told
Yeah.
you anything
Yeah,
about
like I
all
never
that shit.
saw whatever maps have people created, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just seeing it in my head because I don't know, for some reason I was like, show me more, and then that's what I saw. Like I wanted to
you're ready to be a flat earther.
yeah, I wanted to see what was beyond
The wall.
the white, but I couldn't, like
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of like, no, like you can't. In my head, it was just like, no, you can't, like, know what's beyond it. And then because I was like, I just want to like escape all this, right? I wanted to live in my own like space head and just kind of like just be free, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I heard that Earth is a vacation.
It's a vacation. I don't know. But
Shit, this vacation
yeah, like
sucks.
vacation.
No, it was like because like once you're like in I guess spirit or whatever or energy, like you experience everything, right? But like Earth is kind of like like you said, like Earth school.
Your Earth
Like temporary.
Yeah, so like this is
Yes.
temporary. Like enjoy it while
This
you're
is
in there.
purgatory.
Yeah, kind of.
No, really.
I mean, I agree with you.
I've also heard the theory like this is hell. Like this
Yeah,
is hell.
this could be.
Can I counter you? Hear me out. Hear me out. We all know, we've all heard the Garden of Eden, right?
Right. It's your mind.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Let me
Let him cook.
No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I think what it is, and this goes back to the external distractions, is we are literally in the Garden of Eden. And when we mentioned Garden of Eden, people are thinking about the spiritual place that you can't get to. And we literally walk on soil that grows literal food, that nutrients, like, you know what I mean, that
Yeah,
provides
yeah.
nutrients for your body. We are literally living in the Garden of Eden, but we have been distracted to not think that and to not see that and to not realize that. Like the next time you go to the lake or go to a waterfall, just sit there and literally appreciate how beautiful that is.
Well,
like
that's actually interesting for you to say, because I've also, gosh, it's like a deep dive. Once you learn one conspiracy theory, you learn all the other ones too. But you know, if we go back to biblical terms and we're talking about the Garden of Eden and we're talking about Adam and Eve did not even realize that they were naked until, like, they were still in Eden. They had been naked the entire
Yeah.
time
Until
But
they
it
were
was-
distracted.
until they were distracted. And then they're like, oh, we're naked. This is a problem now.
Yeah.
It was never a problem before, but now all of a sudden it's a problem because you were distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
It's the
We
old-
live in we are in the Garden of Eden, but
let me
we
take
are-
my clothes off right now.
We're also like as a collective of human beings of the earth are destroying it and not caring enough about it. So I'm not trying to sound like a tree hugger. I'm just trying to show you guys the perspective. You know what I mean? So
These are like all the high thoughts that you have when you're like on psychedelic. You're like, this is what it's like, but
Exactly.
it's better.
okay, real quick, I'm just curious. Is there a psychedelic that you have not tried yet that you would like to experience?
Ooh.
Both of you guys.
What's considered a psychedelic? Like, okay, acid, mushrooms, what else?
DMT,
DMT, ayahuasca.
ayahuasca.
Oh, I really want to try DMT, but like later on because I'm scared. I'm scared.
Don't do it if you're scared.
Yeah, exactly.
definitely want to try DMT and ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones that I would want to try. But I don't think it's right at the moment. It's not that I don't want to take it right now.
Yeah. You
But
can
I'm-
feel that it's not right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like not seeking it.
I got you.
Like when the time comes when it just
You'll
like
know.
comes to me, we're like, hey, here's an opportunity to take DMT or ayahuasca. Then I would be,
yeah.
because like I really wanna experience. I don't want to say like next level, but
Yeah.
that is like it's
Yeah. It kind of is.
yeah.
But that's like a good self-evaluation, like to know, like for example, okay, I'm gonna just say alcohol again. People who drink alcohol, they're always like, oh, more alcohol, more alcohol, more alcohol. But when you do these other things, psychedelics, you have to self-reflect.
Yeah.
You have to evaluate yourself and be like, am I physically, mentally, emotionally ready for this? And to say that you're not, that puts you in power. That gives you that control over it.
Yeah, you know what it is? Because I went hiking a few days ago with my friend Ryan, and then
Shout out to Rocksmith.
I decided to take mushrooms, like I usually do, to go hiking. And I have this chocolates, right? And usually 2 bars is like pretty
Pretty
decent.
good. Yeah, pretty good.
2 bars? 2 whole bars?
Yeah,
It's
like
like 2 doses basically.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the dose is, but like I took 4
Oh, okay.
because in my mind I was like, I just need a reset, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then I remember, so we went hiking. I didn't really feel. I felt like it was just. I felt like I took 2. It didn't feel like I took 4. And it just made me realize that I feel like my baseline right now, when it comes to like my energy, is really good. Obviously, I still have problems and I still have stress.
Because you're just a human.
Yeah, but I don't think, because like for the longest time when I was taking a lot of like, psychedelics, I was looking to change and to level up and to fix myself. And I feel like right now I don't feel like I need to fix anything. I just need to like live
Yeah.
instead of always trying to like, oh, what's wrong with me? What can I fix? Because you get very egotistical sometimes when you're always fixing yourself. Because like, oh, I always want to improve myself. Like,
Well, I think just there you should
Yeah.
change it from fixing to improving, because
Yeah.
fixing implies that there's something wrong with you, that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
broken. Whereas like if you say you can always strive to be 1% better every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's saying I'm good now, but I can always be better for myself and for other people. So I think that's a
Exactly.
mindset thing. Like,
Yeah, and
fix
that-
is not a good word.
yeah, and I think it's just like that. It's just whatever I'm doing now on a daily is incremental improvement to my
Yes.
life.
You're on
right?
the right path, Jake.
Yeah, so like I think I was like, oh, what's next? What's next? What's the next level?
Yeah.
And then it just, like I said, it keeps telling me like, nope, this is it. Like, you just need to live.
Well, a lot of people will like chase that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when I am this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why are you who you are now? Why is that not enough for you? Because I watched this thing too that said like, we have the ability to manipulate our physical environment. Like all reality is real. You know, all realities are happening at the same time. It's whatever frequency you want to be on. And they say that what you think, you know, it does manifest in the physical world, but there's a delay because you are already worthy of the things you think you're worthy enough, but you got to prove it to yourself. And that's why there's this delay, because you're testing yourself to see, can I push through? Am I strong enough to, I know I'm worthy of this. Here's a distraction. Can I push through that? And do I really deserve that within myself? We are already enough because we were born to come to this earth school. We were already chosen. We're already enough.
Yeah.
For the record, I still want superpowers, but continue.
Manifest that then for yourself. Tell yourself you're enough. You're
I've been
worthy.
trying to control water since I was a kid. It's never been a thing.
Do you guys ever feel like you control the elements though? Like that you, when you're shrooming, do you feel that control?
I don't know about control, but I definitely feel connected to them.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can influence and talk to the nature around
That's the
you?
thing. Like you feel like you're communicating with like plants and like trees, but I don't know about like feeling like I can manipulate an element. That's, you know what I mean. That's
Yeah. It just
Maybe that's what it is, like more of a connection.
yeah. For sure. Like you could feel like, and you know, it sounds funny when you say talking to trees, but that's the only like words I can put it into. But that might not even exactly be what it is.
It's like an energetic connection where you are telepathically like communicating.
Right.
And it's so
yeah.
crazy.
And it's just like feeling of being one with everything.
Yes.
that collective
Yeah.
feeling,
Like
that
connected
connection.
to everything,
Because
yeah.
it's not just people
Yeah,
that we're
it's
connected to.
Animals, plants, insects.
A fucking rock, you could be like, yo, I can feel that rock. I know that
like,
sounds
literally.
insane, but it's
Because I
like,
You feel the energy coming from the rock.
yeah.
because I remember, you know, when I was younger, like I would always be scared of like spiders and all that shit, like the insects, and I would always kill it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like I can't even kill like ants. Like it's just like really gotten to that point that everything matters in a way.
Everything does matter.
And then I always feel bad. And I mean, sometimes, you know, like when you see an ant and you accidentally step on it, I'm like, well, game over for you. But like, it's
this is kind of like when I did DMT, that was the message.
You have done DMT?
Yeah.
DMT?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like when I was in and it's very short. That trip is like 3-5 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because you see like a million things in that 5 minutes. It's not even
did it
possible.
feel long?
When you're in it, yes. But as you exit out of it, you can't. It's impossible to retain even like 20% of what you see. You
Yeah.
probably retain like 2%. Like I'm not even bullshitting you. But that was the message. So when I was on my DMT trip, once I decided to close my eyes and really go through it,
Yeah.
it just kept like, it would show me an image and it would zoom in and it would show like so many shapes, so many colors. I've never seen these shapes and colors before. Like imagine sacred geometry times like a million.
Wow.
And then it would be like, oh, look over here. And then it would like expand again and like zoom in and show so much detail in one little thing. And then I opened my eyes for a second and saw like I don't know, like a piece of the couch or something, and it would zoom in and then expand again and show how beautiful that little speck is and how much detail and love.
Crazy.
But
I would want to experience.
Yeah, I'm like,
I could feel all the love and energy and everything that went into this little,
Yeah.
because it showed me it let me experience it, and the whole time it felt like I was in a room like this, and there was like people watching me trying to tell me something, but they couldn't get through me.
Yeah.
But I felt like they were trying to tell me something. I know that sounds weird, obviously, but like I'm just telling you what I experienced. you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Like I can kind of see it, but then like explaining to somebody that has never done mushrooms. right?
yeah, it's
So
so,
it's like-
hard.
that probably sounds so
Like, I
crazy,
probably-
right?
Well, because it's not of this world.
Yeah,
it's
like, I
not-
would-
the experience is not.
You literally, when you do DMT, the moment you exhale it, it's like that scene in Doctor Strange where his astral projections.
Oh.
It
Is that what
literally,
it kind of looks like?
the moment you exhale, you literally feel the separation from your physical. And then when you open your eyes, So like right now, if I was on DMT, it would overlap with this wall that you have. So I would see the psychedelic realm and also this, and it would like overlap. But if you just close your eyes, all you see is that realm.
Yeah.
You don't see this.
Damn.
So that means you have access to this realm, just not all the time.
This sounds
Yeah.
so crazy. Like this literally like sounds like an experience. Like it sounds like exactly Doctor Strange, you know? It sounds so crazy and foreign to us, but these are real things that you can experience as a human, but they sell it to us that it's not, you know, that you have to go to church and you know, be blessed by a priest and have other people like if you asked a priest this and they said, yeah, well, I was in another realm and I saw all these things, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You are spiritual. You are touched by that. Why can't we accept that about ourselves and experience that?
If I can try and put it into words, it almost felt like a divine being, if you want to say God, but it almost felt like a divine being showed me how much love and beauty and detail goes into even the smallest thing that you see.
Oh, that's very beautiful.
And it made me, I thought I was a grateful person already, but it made me even more like,
Yeah.
yo, there's so much that
Because it really does, like, because it shows you that you're just like a tiny dot in this whole universe,
yeah,
right?
like literally.
I love that. I love how you guys have touched on how like psychedelics bring you to the reality of what part you play, and it makes you feel grateful, like
Yeah.
gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude,
Absolutely.
authenticity, spirituality.
Makes you feel real.
Yes, I feel like these are all things that you start to feel and develop once you delve into psychedelics.
And then you kind of see it with the people around you, right? That has experienced this experience. Because like I can always tell who's done it and who hasn't. It's kind of an easy tell who's done it or who hasn't, and it's not. There's no judgment there, but it's just kind of like
You can just tell.
I
you
feel
can
like
kind of know, be like, oh
kinda
yeah, you
feel it.
get it, you get
I feel
it.
like you do walk away with gratitude though.
Yeah.
Like you can tell. I think gratitude is one of the ways that I spot it in other people. Like when they're just like, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for this experience. Like that immediately is into
Yeah.
you've done mushrooms.
Might need to do some mushrooms on my birthday. Fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
and
Birthday mushrooms are the best.
yeah. Hey, that's coming up in 2 days too. Idea.
Oh, like shit.
But I don't.
Virgo season. That's what we
It's
can do.
Virgo
Yeah.
season. It's Virgo.
But I don't want to waste any more of your time because I know we've been talking for a little bit. But I guess let's just end it there. Any final words? I mean, before we have final words, I just want to say I really want to. The reason why I want to have this conversation with you is because, like, I feel like a psychedelic conversation is such an important thing because
Yeah.
not a lot of people talk about it, and it's kind of a taboo, right?
It's still considered taboo. Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like, just from my personal experience, I feel like if you saw me and you're like, oh, she is an operations manager and runs a construction division during the day. She has
Yeah.
a cake pop business. She's a bodybuilder. She competes in shows. She's a dancer. You're not going to look at me and think that this high functioning person
Like-
who has multiple streams of income loves psychedelics, you know?
Yeah.
But people who are very successful love psychedelics. They don't drink. They don't do coke. People who are highly successful, they do weed and mushrooms because it connects you to your most authentic, grateful, spiritual self.
Yeah, because I think this conversation is very important because it's funny because my mom does watch this podcast and she's probably watching right now.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, Tita.
yeah, I've never had this conversation with her. And
What better way
Your
to
mom's a very
experience?
spiritual.
yeah,
woman.
she's very religious person.
Yeah.
And she has her own like spirituality, which is, you know, to each their own. But I found my own, and like this is kind of like how I view everything and how I guess practice my own spirituality, right? So yeah.
I like that. I like that idea because, you know, in this world they make you think that either you have to be an organized religion to practice spirituality with people, or you have to be this like super duper hippie, like out of this
Yeah.
world, like whatever. But
Like you can be in the middle.
yes,
Yeah.
like you can do mushrooms and have that be something that you do on your own to be part of the collective. But then when you're quote unquote sober, it allows us to talk about spirituality. It's an avenue to talk about more spirituality together and to analyze as a collective, which we're supposed to be. Like, how did this make us feel? Like, it's like a group therapy, spiritual session. You know.
I hope she can see how much good it's done for you. I mean,
I'm sure she does.
just listening to this conversation, I'm sure she can tell. So.
Yeah. Final words, Kat? Wait, do a shout out.
Do a shout out.
What you got going on? I know you got freaking cake pops stuff.
No. Plug that, bro.
Your plug.
That.
Okay. So I have my own cake pop business. I make cake pops, kitty cakes. Follow me on Instagram. It's @ kitty cakes with a K. I make homemade cake pops. Everything is made from scratch, from the cake, the frosting. I also do muffins. I do cookies.
And I can attest, they are fucking delicious.
Yeah, honestly, I've tried the cake pops and the cookies. So good.
Yeah, this is no box mix. Like, I can do any flavor. Like, I got ube, I got mango, carrot cake, like whatever you guys want. I do customs. So
yeah, if you have an anniversary coming up or you made your girlfriend mad, please hit up Kitty Cakes.
So yeah, final words, I guess. Do mushrooms when you're ready to
like that.
face who you are. Do mushrooms when you're ready, because some people aren't ready, so we should never pressure them.
Yeah.
Do it when it feels right. Do it
with people that you trust.
People that you love. Be in nature, away from distractions, and surrender yourself to your own highest self, your own highest good, and then always move with gratitude and authenticity. And we're just humans, so we're always going to make mistakes, but if you move with gratitude and authenticity, it will always work out. It'll always be fine.
I like that.
That's on spirituality.
Raph?
For anyone out there that is curious about these experiences and maybe you feel like you need a guide or something, I don't even like using that, but if you just want somebody to be there that can help support you through the trip and guide you, hit me up.
No, for real though, you're
Spiritual
a good
guide.
person to have around.
Yeah.
That's
And
really cool.
I'm not gonna talk your ear. I'm the opposite of talking your ear off. I'm a very quiet person. Maybe this podcast isn't that version of me, but in general, I don't really say a lot. I'm an observer, but I just want you to experience it the way you should be experiencing it. That's really it.
That's true. I mean, Raph was there the first time. So he was my guide, and he did pretty good. He did all right. I guess final words for me is psychedelics is only a tool, I think. Like,
Facts.
when you're experiencing it for the first time, or the few times that you're taking it, make sure you're integrating what you've learned during that moment and like put it in your regular life or in your sober life.
Yeah.
Because it's not take one time and
It's not a one and done.
yeah, it's not a one and done. It's not like I'm gonna take this and then I'm healed. It's like you gotta
no.
Yeah,
It's
a
quite
tool.
the
I like
opposite.
that.
It's
Yeah.
quite the opposite.
It's like, oh my gosh, I got so much more to fix.
exactly
Improve.
Right.
But yeah, it's use it as a tool. It'll definitely help you.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. But then also, if you don't want to, then you don't want to. That's
Yeah.
it.
What an awesome topic. What an awesome
I know,
podcast.
That was
fun.
so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to stop talking about it,
I know.
honestly. I'm like
Like, I was trying to be mindful because I know you're
I know
like
you
you need to
have
get out of
shit
here.
going
I'm not
But
even looking. I'm just like, oh,
hey,
shit.
that's the shroom talk. That's the shroom talk. You know, not even like
Yeah.
It went
you're
by
just
so
in. Yeah,
fast. Yeah. This is how it feels to be in shrooms.
exactly.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, I definitely want to talk about it again. Like the next time you come back, like
Raph,
more.
when are we celebrating your
other
birthday?
stuff.
We should do shrooms.
I'm trying to go stargazing on Tuesday. It was good.
Bro, why always try to do stuff on the weekday?
Look, we don't have to. That doesn't have to be the only time we celebrate it. We
Yeah,
could.
that's true.
You're right.
I could
birthday
schedule
month.
I could schedule a
Birthday month.
time where I would love to see all my favorite people, and you're one of them. So yeah,
Yay.
I'm off tomorrow.
I'm not.
Damn.
But anyways, yeah, I guess that's it for this week's episode. Hope you guys had fun, and see you guys next week. Peace.